Yo, what's up, everybody? Let's talk about Manny Pacquiao, Timothy Bradley. Let's figure out what type of chance does Tim have as far as making this an interesting fight, making this a fight that the people want to see. Uh, on as a fan, from a fan perspective, I'm not that interested in watching these guys for a third time. From a boxing perspective, I'm interested in the fight because I'm interested to see how much of an impact does Teddy Atlas have on Tim Bradley. Tim Bradley looked phenomenal against Brandon Rios. Brandon Rios is a tough out for anybody because of his fighting style, because of his aggression, because of his ability to swarm you, and his punching power. And he doesn't quit. He doesn't quit. He's not a guy that's going to fold. He's not going to go into defense mode. He's not going to go into what Mayweather calls survival mode, and then you don't want to fight. This guy's going to fight hard. He's going to continue to press you even when he shouldn't. And Tim Bradley knocked him out and got him up out of there. It's going to be interesting to see just how good because on one hand you can be impressed by the fact that Tim beat Brandon Rios. On another hand, you're like, okay, but it is Brandon Rios. Brandon Rios is a solid fighter. Brandon Rios is an Arturo Gatti type of fighter in the sense of action pack, and that's why he's famous. He's not famous because he's on the pound for pound list. He's famous because he's on something. For anyone who watches, I believe it's called the Fight Game, the Gatti list, which is Jim Lampley's version of the 10 most exciting or 5 most exciting fighters in the sport today, and that's something that you have to commend him for. When you watch, the Mayweather and the Pacquiao fight, you have to say, you know what? If Pacquiao is even 90% of what he gave Mayweather that night, it should be good enough. It should be good enough to beat Tim Bradley. It should be good enough to beat him for, in my opinion, the third time. This is not a rubber match, in my opinion. This is a guy who's beaten a guy 2 times and is about to beat him 3 times. And I understand that Tim won the first fight, but we understand the dynamics of the first fight. But in my opinion, I had that 8, 9, 10 rounds for Pacquiao. Now, when I first watched the first fight, I had it 10 rounds to 2, and then I watched it again. No commentators. I watched it again. I had it 8, so 8 or 9. I think that Tim is a tough out because he's skillful, because he's hard headed, because he's a bull. He's a pit bull. He doesn't have extreme punching power despite the physique, but he's ripped. He comes to fight. He doesn't come to play, and you have to beat him. He's not gonna beat himself, and he has a tough chin, and he takes a good punch, and he's once again he's skillful, but a lot of times we've been wondering about Tim because Tim Bradley is he beat Devin Alexander, he struggled against Provodnikov. So what Tim Bradley's about to show up, because the Tim Bradley that's fought Pacquiao twice thus far, that's not going to be good enough. That's not going to be good enough. I'm interested to see how Tim can perform. Teddy Atlas has an ability to galvanize you, to motivate you, to get you inspired, to pump you up in the sense of, hey, let's get in there. Let's rip. And here's the thing. Teddy Atlas, he said something I thought was so interesting. He said when he watched Pacquiao fight Mayweather, he said Pacquiao fought this guy like a rich man. He didn't fight this guy like he grew up on the tough streets of the Philippines. He fought this guy like he's a millionaire. And I said, hey, that's super tough, because I know from a fighter perspective, that's a different mindset. That's a different mindset, which is why I love listening to Bernard Hopkins talk. They asked him, will boxing ever die? He said, man, as long as there's slums, as long as there's hoods, as long as there's ghettos, as long as there's desolate places as far as financial opportunity, you will always see boxing. You will always see MMA. You will always see these things, because think about it. A guy who wants to fight for a living, something is off with that guy. That guy is a guy who's basically saying, hey, this is the best thing I can do for you. It's very rare that you're going to get a millionaire child want to box. If a child was a millionaire, he wouldn't do it. And I can certainly I can relate, and I can understand any young fighter wanting to fight who's growing up, whether it be in any disadvantage or just poor. We're just gonna call it straight up. Any poor person growing up, I can understand the mindset of saying, hey, I want to box. I want to do MMA. I want to do something violent in the sense of, hey, I'm going to train my ass off and it's going to hurt like hell, but I'm going to try to help my family. I'm going to try to change my life. I'm going to try to change destiny, so to speak. And that's what the brilliant, and I think it's the lore of boxing. And that's what I think Teddy Atlas is going to give Tim Bradley. Tim Bradley's a millionaire. Tim Bradley's a successful fighter in his own right. This is not really more so about Pacquiao, unless we're saying Pacquiao's just not motivated. This is about how motivated will Tim be that night, because it's not going to be about the training camp, in my opinion. There's going to be very little in the sense of punching power increase, speed increase. Tim's always in shape. He's not going to get tired. It's about, can Tim Bradley do something different in a sense of aggression? Can he run it? Because I enjoyed the second fight. I thought in the early rounds, despite getting rocked in a few, he wasn't super rocked, but he got hit. I thought he was aggressive, but I thought at some point he tried to go back in his defensive shell. Pacquiao's too unorthodox, too fast for Tim to be able to just sit back, and I'm going to sit back and just try to outbox you. Although Tim's a great boxer, he might win a round or two that way, but he's got to be aggressive. He's going to have to figure out a way to get inside Pacquiao, make it rough, make it a little, as they say, rough and dirty fight, because that's the best opportunity he has to beat Pacquiao. But that's all I want to say, man. Just once again, I appreciate the support, appreciate the subscribers, appreciate the comments. It's all been pleasant. It's all been wonderful. And I'm here to stay. I'm gonna continue to make these videos. I'm gonna continue to stay on top of boxing, stay on top of the hot topics, and man, check out the music as well, man. This is a multi, it's an ambidextrous type of channel, man. So appreciate you.